Hey, it's papakeith from 103.5 The Beat here with the amazing, the talented ELLA MAI. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good, good. It's so amazing to actually meet you in person after hearing so much of your music, so many hits on the radio.
Thank you.
First of all, how does it feel to just, be so accomplished, so young and so early in the game?
I mean, I'm not that young, to be honest. But
I mean, looks are deceiving me, is what you're telling me?
No, it's amazing. I think, you grow up and you dream about things your whole life and you actually start to achieve them and your dreams start to become your reality. And it's like it's so many different pinch me moments that you don't feel like stuff is real. So I'm just grateful.
I have to ask you, most of your songs speak about like relationship and love and stuff like that. Does it come from like a personal or is it sometimes some things you just imagine, maybe some of your friends and other people?
I think it just depends really. Like when I first started writing, because I always had this like vision in my head that like songwriting, you had to be like a poet, right? I never really I didn't songwrite from when I was young. So when I really first got into writing, I would kind of take it from like my friends' experiences, or like if I was writing with a writer, I'd kind of let them take the lead and try and like take stuff from their process to like create my own process. My sophomore album, my new album, is definitely more so of my experience than my debut album was. That was definitely like more so imagining things or speaking from somebody else's perspective. But it really depends. Sometimes I'll see something and I'll write it down and I'm inspired, or it will be something that I was going through. So whatever I can take inspiration from, I'll take inspiration from.
With that being said, what are your personal relationships with, from one album to the next? Because they're all like babies, right? All your songs are your babies, your albums are your babies.
Yeah.
But from your, from the first album to now the sophomore, what would you say in terms of your growth that you've seen, or what do you like in different?
I think they definitely both have a special place in my heart, of course. The debut was like, you don't get to do your debut again. And I mean, you don't get to do your sophomore again either, but like the debut album is like your introduction, what everyone kind of first hears. I had EPs out before that, but especially because of how big Boot Up was and how big Trip was, that was like a lot of people's introduction to my music. So that I think holds a special place in my heart, just because it was like such a great time and a lot of people's introduction, and I got to do a lot of things I hadn't done before. So it was a lot of firsts. The sophomore album is more so like, I think I was way more proud of myself in terms of songwriting and in terms of like expressing myself in my sophomore album, because I was a lot more involved in the writing and in the process and what I wanted to sound like. And I think I was a lot more sure of myself as an artist, like, and what I wanted to sound like and what I wanted to say, as opposed to my debut kind of just some of the first times in the studio. I hadn't been in the studio that much because we were recording my debut for a long time. So I think more so just being a bit more experienced as an artist and knowing what I wanted to say more on my sophomore album as opposed to my debut.
That growth. That's really cool. So we're killing This Is right now.
Thank you.
On the radio.
I appreciate
of course,
that.
You're like the queen of radio right now. I mean, well, you always have been, because your two previous, monster hits from the first album were radio killers.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? So not all artists get that, but you seem to have that.
I'm trying.
You, Little Baby, a few others.
I'm trying.
What I mean? But This Is really killing it right now. Can you talk about that song and kind of break it down for the audience so they can get maybe a little bit more insight on what the song means to you?
Yeah, I mean, This Is again just like, I'm a lover girl. I tell people that all the time. So This Is really like another love song that really just, I think especially in the R&B world, we're so used to right now like toxic love. And I hate toxic love. I don't want to be a part of toxic love. I don't want to I understand that sometimes those are the experiences that a lot of people experience. So I get it. But like, I just want to spread love, right? So This is a complete love song. It's a sample, so it's an old school song. It has an old school feel, but we just kind of did a little like modern day flip on it. And I have a love-hate relationship with samples, so I'm always very iffy about using samples. But this song,
but you nailed that one.
Thank you. This song really was just, it just feels really good. It gave me the same kind of feeling that Boot Up did when I was first recording it. And yeah, I just want to spread love. So it's a complete love song.
No, and listen, there's a place for that, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because not all relationships is he ain't shit and she ain't this and that. You know what I mean? There's definitely a place for that. I think that, that you doing that is a plus.
Thank you.
Know what I mean? And the fact that you said it's not like you're just doing it to do it. You actually mean it. And
I mean it. I live it. I definitely do. Like, of course, we've all gone through heartbreak. We've all gone through situations that we know we shouldn't have been in. But I think just, especially as I get older, I think as you get older, you realize like what's important and what you won't put up with and what you will put up with, and just kind of just I want to be at peace. There's enough in the world already that is nuts and crazy, and I just don't want anybody to add any more stress to my life. So, you know, I can stress myself out. I don't need somebody to do that. So
Absolutely.
really just trying to find that ultimate package and just being happy, because that's really what matters at the end of the day.
So well said. I'm so happy for this opportunity. Another thing I want to touch on, because before we got into this conversation, we talked about your tour.
Yes.
And you're a quarter way through the tour right now.
Yeah.
We're glad you're here in Miami. So sorry for the rain.
I
If
know,
can
the
talk
rain
to
is
the rain
terrible.
gods, you know what I mean? But listen, it's a sold out show, so you know your fans are amazing. I remember real quick. I remember the first time I actually seen you. You came was in Wynwood years ago.
It was a festival, right?
It was a festival.
Yes, I
it was a
remember.
festival in Wynwood,
I
exactly.
remember.
So that was the first time I was able to see you perform, and was really excited about you, because I felt that because you were from across the seas, it'll be hard to see you. You know what I mean? So I'm glad that you're back. But let's talk about your tour a little bit. What can the people expect, you know, tonight and moving forward from your tour, moving around, besides your hits? What are a piece of you that you give when you do your shows?
I think the one thing that's really special about my shows, in my personal opinion, is I like intimate shows, right? I like to be able to connect with the audience. I like to be able to see people, talk to people, and have it feel like we're actually like having a conversation, as opposed to like, you know, a big production and you feel like you're super, super far away
Exactly.
from it. So I think more so just like being able to connect with my fans. And this is the first time I'm performing a lot of the songs from Heart on My Sleeve. For a lot of people, I haven't toured it yet. So I think just being able to do new music, and of course splashing the old stuff in there too, because I can't forget that. But really just, you know, my show is really not, I wouldn't say stripped down, but we focus a lot on the vocals and the musicality of the show, as opposed to like, you know, I'm not a big dancer. I don't do a lot of choreography.
Right.
I'll give you a little 1-2 step, but really just vocals and connecting with people, and I love to see how, you know, the music means one thing to me, of course, but I love to see how it translates and how people connect to it in their own way. So I like to have that, like, you know, my fans be right there and I'm right here. So.
Well, I think they appreciate
Yeah.
that. You know what I mean? The fact that you do that, because you can sell out an arena, but the fact that you like these intimate shows, I think it's really cool.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? And I wish you all the best on your tour.
Thank you. I appreciate
Why
you.
did you name the album,
Heart on
you know,
My
Heart on My Sleeve? I mean, it should be clear why, but I would like to hear you.
I mean, to be honest, I am definitely, like I said to you before, I'm a lover girl, and I think in all positions that I've been in so far in my life, I feel like I always wear my heart on my sleeve. And I think with the content that is on the album and the stuff that I'm speaking about, it felt like just, you know, it felt like the right thing to call it. I remember I had sent a text message and that was in it, and I remember it was a long text message. And I left the text message alone, and for some reason something told me to go back to the text message. And a couple of days later, I went back to the text message and I reread it, and that was the one part that stuck out to me. And I was like, this was like probably midway through the album process, and I was like, that's the name of the album.
That's super dope. That's super dope. Listen, I wear my heart on my sleeve as well. I get it. I love. So I get all of that stuff, you know what I mean? But sometimes when it comes down on you, do you ever feel like, because I've gone through this as well, you feel like you want to change who you are, but you kind of don't, you know what I mean? So it's like you kind of battle the fact that, yes, I'm a sucker for love, so it puts me through this process, but like, I don't want to change who I am.
Yeah, no, I don't feel like I've ever, even if I've been hurt, I don't feel like I've ever questioned like, oh, should I not wear my heart on my sleeve? Should I be, I don't know, I don't even know how to explain it. I feel like I have a great support system around me. So I think I always get like words of encouragement, and people like my friends and my family, they always like kind of pick me up if I'm down. But I've never really, I take it as the other person's loss. I'm like, well, cool, if you can't handle it, then
Ella Mai, you better than me. I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for the time. Have a great show tonight. You're awesome.
Thank you.
And we're so excited for you and just how your career has been flourishing.
Thank you. I appreciate
Continued
you.
success, all right?
Thank you.